Hi, everyone.
Hi, Chandra.
Hi, Changal. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hope my voice is clear and loud.
Yes, Chandra. So we can start. I think we have a good number of participants. Sorry
Yeah,
for the delay because I got a power outage.
no
Okay now.
worries.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chandra,
awesome.
I think, you can start with a recap of your past session or the last week's session,
Okay,
and with from that point, I think you can start the next.
awesome.
So, over to
That's great.
you.
Thank you. I'm sharing my screen, entire screen with you people, and once you are able to see my screen, let me know. Okay, so today we are in session number two, where we are trying to go with tracker domain and prospect management. This is session number two. With respect to session number one, so just a recap. So as I was mentioning to people, we discussed about Salesforce admin, setting up a business unit, enabling the account engagement for Lightning, account engagement settings, domain management, where account engagement admin is responsible to do it. As I promised you people, I will be demonstrating and how domain management is taken care. And for this purpose, as we are discussing today on session number two. Okay, let me close this and let me jump in there. Okay, so today we are trying to discuss the tracker and how it should be added with the DNS record. For this purpose, so today I'm using a username which looks like this, and I have renamed the domain which is accountforce.my.salesforce.com. This is my email ID for today, and this is the account. So this is my domain. This is my domain. Let's assume that this is a fictional company called Account Force, okay, and they want to use this domain for their email sending. Okay, so now what they have to do is they have to go to control panel of this particular domain. In this case, in my scenario, it is the one which is managed in GoDaddy. Okay, you can see the DNS management, domain name server management, in which we have a domain here. Okay, this domain is purchased dedicatedly for this training, and let's assume that this is the domain which is used by our company called Account Force. This is the name of the company, and they want to use. What is that they need to do with this domain? They have to first ensure that this domain is added as a domain management under account engagement settings, which I demonstrated last week. Today, we have added that to ensure that we are in the same page. This is the domain. It's a very simple step. Click on this button, add new domain, add your domain, and then you'll be getting these expected DNS records. These expected DNS records, which you see here, must be added in your control panel. Must be added in your control panel. So in my scenario, GoDaddy is my domain provider, and here I am trying to manage that. So here you have to click the button add new record. It keeps changing based on your domain provider. What I did is I added a text record. Okay, you can see this text record here, one, text record two, and text record three. So this is the text record. You can see this one 20608 dot underscore domain key, and here you can see this one also. Okay, this is the domain key, and this is the value which has been added. Second one is being provided here, which is the same txt record for the at symbol. At symbol represents the domain name. And the third one is a tracker domain, which you can see in the bottom, which is go.mcaeforce.com, which will be redirected to this one. So this text which was visible for me, I copied this and that will be pasted in my text record. So you can see all the text records now, txt1, txt2 and txt3, and all these are verified. So which might take 5 minutes to 24 hours to complete it. So this is completed. So this is how the domain is added and the tracker domain is added so that you can start sending emails from this domain. Since it is a developer account, so we cannot be sending any emails from this one because it is a secured one. I'll be giving a pause on this place now, which is related to tracker domain and what is the importance of the tracker domain. Every email which is being sent from account engagement will be redirected from this domain to this one so that you can check the links which have been clicked on. This is how it works. Go dot, you can name anything as a subdomain. It can be Go, it can be Pardot, anything. So I am using this as a redirecting one. So any link clicked in your email will be redirected. Second thing is this is the tracking code which needs to be placed in all the pages where you want to track your prospects, your prospects within account engagement. Okay, this script has to be given to your web developer and they will be responsible to ensure that this code is placed in all the pages so that they can track your prospects from anonymous to known user. Anyone has any question on this particular topic? Anyone has question, please do paste your questions here. That would be a great one before we move on to the next topic of today, which is prospects. Okay, I'll just stop my screen sharing. I'll go to screen. If you have questions, you can post your questions on Q&A section if you have any questions on that one. No questions here. Let me see whether I can send a message to you people. Yeah, I can send a message. If you have any questions, do let me know. Awesome. I'll give a minute of time to think. If not, we are good to move on with the next important topic, which is known as prospects and how to manage your prospects in account engagement and how it is related to contact or lead. Rest of the things I'll explain as and when we progress. So I'll be starting a timer in my mobile for 60 seconds because I want to think, I want you people to think if you have any questions on adding a domain or track a domain. But what do you need? You need the access to control panel and you should add those txt record types. Okay, last 30 seconds if you have any questions. Last 15 seconds. Okay, I did not get any questions on the question panel, so I'll be moving with the next topic by sharing my entire screen. So what are we discussing next? According to the topic of session 2 is prospect management. What is a prospect and how do you manage this? Okay. It's a very, very simple one which you people can prospect. You can have any name based on your business terminologies. So for me, a prospect will be a lead or a contact. Okay. In business perspective, you can call them as customers, you can call them as clients. That is all dependent on that, on your use cases. but I'll keep it simple for you. Every prospect will be a lead or a contact, a lead or a contact, or it will be a prospect which is not a contact yet. So you might be having a question here. So when it comes to prospect, why it is not a lead or a contact? Let's learn all these things to know how to bring prospects into account engagement and how it is related to a lead or a contact. Okay, so I'll keep it simple now. So, how do you bring prospect into account engagement? One, you'll create it manually. Option number two, you'll import them if it is in bulk. Option number three, you'll ensure that it is with sync with CRM. Sync with CRM. Okay. Three options. There are many more options which we will be learning as and when we progress. Okay. So now I will be showcasing how to create a prospect manually, and then I'll be demonstrating how to import a prospect, and I'll be showing you how it syncs with your CRM. When it comes to syncs, there are a couple of other options which we will be seeing and exploring. What is a prospect? Prospect is a lead or a contact, or it might be only residing in your account engagement. To understand the relationship here, so I'll be drawing with two colors. So one is blue color, which is representing the account engagement. Okay, I'll be going with orange color, which will be representing our Salesforce CRM. Okay, so now you might have a lead, or you might have a contact. Okay, so in account engagement, it is only treated as an object called prospect. So it can be connected to a lead, which is a bidirectional one, or it might be a contact with a bidirectional one, like this. Okay, we have many more things to learn as and when we progress. So prospect will be a lead, or it might be only a prospect, but which is not synced with your CRM at all. What could be the reason? We'll try to analyze those things as and when we progress. So I am trying to educate you people how to create a prospect manually. Okay, so let me go into the account engagement, and I'll be clicking on the prospect tab. And I'll be creating a prospect manually. I'll click on the button add prospect on the right top. I'll be naming it as Chandra, the first name, the last name. Okay, email address is mandatory. So I'll call this one as Chandra. I'll go with my email ID at gmail.com. This is my email ID. Okay, I'll go with the first name Raju and the last name Chandra. So what is the campaign? Campaign is mandatory to be mentioned while creating a prospect. So I'll be selecting the 2025 event. Profile should be selected. We will be discussing this in the session number 4. Okay, if I'm not wrong. So I'll go with default one, which will be explained in detail why the profile is important, and score for now it will be 0. Do we need any additional information? For now, I'll be not doing anything. I'll click on the button create prospect. Now, how do you know whether the prospect is present in CRM or not? I'll explain you with that. So now, first, the prospect is created manually. Let me search that. I would like to go with all prospects, created date, which is today, and I'll be going with the name Raju just to search it. So this is the way you'll search it. So this is my prospect, and what do you observe? You observe an icon here, means this is a prospect which is only in account engagement. Okay, it is only in account engagement, and I did not visit any website link of MCAE one, which is the tracker domain. Okay, since the website is still not up and running. So this is the icon which is giving you an information that this prospect is only residing in account engagement. So if you scroll to the bottom, so let me explain you how did I reach here. I'll click on prospect. Again, prospects tab. I have filtered them, view all the prospects created today by my first name. I'll click the button go and I'll click and open the name here. I'll click and open the name. If I scroll to the bottom of this account engagement prospect, so what do you observe? You observe the CRM lead ID or the contact ID is empty, right? Yes, it is empty. Why? Because this is still residing in account engagement. So what is that you need to do so that it is a lead in Salesforce CRM? So the option number one, you need to ensure that you have an assigned user. You can see this inside section. Here we have assigned user, and here you should assign it to one of the users so that it can come in. So I'll click on this assign user. I'll scroll up and the user who will be assigned to this one is Chandraprasad. Okay. This is manually created prospect. What is the time taken? Now the question is, when we make a prospect to be assigned to a user, when I do this, it will take 2 minutes, as minimum as 2 minutes, and it will be as maximum of so more than that. So what do you observe now? Since I assigned it, immediately you can see this as the lead ID, and it is always created as a lead first. If you converted it to a contact later, it will be a contact. Okay, so do remember this. Always a prospect, once it is being synced, it will be a lead always. Okay, it will be a lead always. So this is the first thing. And how do you sync? So here is an icon. Now you can see the icon here, which is a Salesforce icon. You can click on this icon and you can see this prospect in CRM. So let me go back to prospects again and let me go into this one. You can see the icon change. There is a Salesforce icon. I've never been active, means I did not submit a form, I did not click a link, I have not received an email. Okay, I'm still an inactive prospect in account engagement, but I am a lead because of the assigned user. And now you can see me as a prospect, a lead in Salesforce. So if I go back to the filtering one, so I'll remove my name. I'll click on the button go. And what you observe here is there are around 5,000 prospects. And what you observe, they are active. The icon is green, means they might have visited a website link, which you can see as an activity here. They have clicked a link. So these is some of the examples here. So they are not a lead, they are not a contacted. Don't forget, until unless there is an assigned user, they will still be in account engagement. They will never be an account lead or a contact in Salesforce CRM. But in this case, they are active. So what is the difference between Chandraprasad? So when I search for the person Raju, so there are two icons which you can observe. One is red in color because I am never active. This is the icon which is mentioning that I am a lead or a contact. How do you know that it is a lead or a contact? Click on the prospect, go to the bottom of the prospect record and you can see. So this is one thing which I wanted to demonstrate. So what is the second one which I'll be demonstrating is how to import a list of prospects, because it is more than one to be imported. Okay, so now to make this happen, so I'll be taking the help of, first I'll create a folder for this particular training. So I'll call this one as MCAE training. I'll just create a folder, MCAE. Okay, in this folder I will be creating a static list. So it might take a couple of minutes, that's fine. So I'll click on segmentation list. I'm creating a list. List management is the next session. List management will be in the next session. So I'll click on add list and I'll name this list as import underscore prospects. They might be coming from any other system. So initially import prospects, which is for the day July 10th, 2025. Okay, I'm just renaming like this for my reference, and this will be stored in a folder, and that folder will be this one. Folder is very important. Tags, email list, we will discuss this in our next session, which is all about list management. I'll click on the button create list. Why did I do this? I want to import all my prospects from a file into this list. Okay, let me click on account engagement settings. On the left hand side, I have a option called imports. So I have prepared a file, a sample file, which has around 230 records, and I'll click the button upload. So now you have two options while importing. Sorry, while importing. So would you like to match them based on the Salesforce lead ID or contact ID, or would you like to match them based on the email address? In my case, it is email address. I'll click the button, radio button. I'll upload my file, prospects, which is a CSV file. I'll say yes to this, and which is around 32 KB. I'll click the button next. What will happen in this case? It is trying to match the subscriber key. I don't have it, so I'll be not importing it. I'll be importing email with the email address field. First name, last name will be imported. All the others are optional. Okay, so go with this. So I'll be choosing a campaign, so which is 2025 events. Do not change the campaign for existing prospects. Set the campaign for all the prospects. You can do that. Not the all. Click next. Second screen. So you can see the screens here. How many screens? First, you need to choose the file. You need to map the fields. You need to select a campaign and tag them if required. Select the action, confirm, and save. So let me go to next screen. In this screen, it is asking you to import the prospects to a list. You have a huge list here. Option number one, you can import the prospects to a list. You can import the prospects and remove from an existing list. You can import a prospects and make them globally opted out. You want to just import the prospect, you don't want to insert it, or you also want to undelete the prospect. I'll show you whether you can delete it or undelete it, which is will be our next one. So there might be a scenario that you want to delete some prospect, which will be demonstrated as our next thing after completing. I'll click next. Now it is asking for the list to be used. So I'll be using the list which I created, which is July import prospect list, and then click next and we are good. So after the things are completed, it will send out an email to me about the import is completed. So with this, we learned how to import a prospect. There are many options. Explore the options in your developer account. That would be great. And the last one is sync with CRM. Okay, sync with CRM. So this can be taken care while you complete the. You can watch the video number one. So I'll demonstrate that too also. In the account engagement settings, when you people have connected your Salesforce CRM with account engagement, which is a basic thing to be done. So here we have the option called syncing. So let me go to edit settings. I'm showcasing the third option. I've clicked on edit, and in this screen you can see a couple of information like connect settings tab, user sync option, marketing data sharing, and campaigns, right? So here you can see market data sharing, user sync. Okay, there should be one more. Let me see. Connector, campaign event. If records do not have CRM ID, do match when syncing. Use email address to match. This is good. Exclude Salesforce partner, email logging. There should be one option. Okay, probably it is. Let me see reloading it. There should be one more option for your contact syncing. Okay, let me go back. Let me check again. Okay, this looks good. There's one more option. Okay, so let's the option which will be having this one. There will be one more option here to sync here. So you can select this and you can just select one checkbox called create prospects whenever there is a new lead or a contact created in Salesforce. Okay, so these are the three options which are available for your prospect management. So manual import, sorry, manual creation, import or sync with. What happens now? The question is, can we use the prospect, the fields which are coming from your account, that is the Salesforce as it is. So you can see some of the custom fields here. Now, very importantly, the fields, how are they mapped? So here you can see the prospect fields. How did I reach here? Let me explain it again. I'll go to account engagement settings. On the account engagement settings, we have object and field configuration. Today, we'll be discussing in detail only the information related to your prospect. So prospect is an object which comes with default fields, which is auto mapped with your Salesforce CRM lead, and it will be with your contact. So let me click on the email, and here you can see that it is automatically taken care, which is linked. So can I change this? I'll click on this edit a default prospect field. This is auto mapped. Okay, now the question is, when we have the values, when let's assume that we have values on the email address coming from your Salesforce, or it might be coming. So very importantly, ensure that you have a default value set. Any field can be modified in that case. So trying to educate you people on the sync behavior. What is the sync behavior? You have three options here. What will be used as a default value when prospect is present in account engagement, and if it is a lead or if it is a contact? Would you like to use account engagement value as the default value if this is the source of truth? Would you like to make sure that most recently updated will be updated in both the systems? Or would you like to use Salesforce as your default value? Okay, I'll be selecting the one which is the last one for now. Set default mail merge value, use predefined values. This is not required. I'll just save it. Now, what did I select? You can see this. If the values differ when data is synced, use the most recently updated record value. So let us do this on the field. Let me go back to the fields again. Prospect fields. I would like to do this only on my first name. So let me see the first name. I'll click on the first name here and I'll edit the default prospect field value. Okay, this is a type of text. This is the first name which is connected to the default first name here, and I would like to see the most recent updated value. Okay, this is the change, and if there is an empty value, I would like to have valued customer as the default mail merge value. So now, why is this added? Whenever there is a first name empty, you can display valued customer in your email build, which will be in our session 3, where we will be learning how to build an email with drag and drop feature. Okay, I want to have a default value here and I'll click save field. So now it might take time to sync and other stuff, so we can quickly do that. So what I'll be doing now is I'll go to my prospect. Okay, and this is my first name and last name, as you can see here in the lead. I'll just reload it for reference purpose. Okay, now I will change my first name and I will change my last name. So first name, I'll make this one as um, Prasad as prospect. It will take time to sync. So I'll be explaining when it will be syncing. What are the three things which will happen? I'll save prospect. What is my first name now? My first name is Prasad. This one. This is my first name. I cannot be waiting till the sync will happen. So the sync time, it will be as quick as 2 minutes or it might take longer. So what is the longer time? We are not sure about that one. Okay. So I cannot be waiting for this to happen, the sync to complete. So you can click this button, sync with. Okay. Let me reload the browser once. Let's see whether it is updated. No. So now I'll hit the button explicitly sync with CRM. So what will happen in this case? The sync will be initiated immediately and we can expect that to be updated as the name here. You can see this one here. Can you see this one? So what is being used? Recently updated one is used. Now the question is, if I change the lead first name in CRM, will it be changing in my account engagement? Yes is the answer based on my setup. So now I'll be changing first name as Raju as lead. I just want to change this and save. So you do not have to sync every time, but since we have a crunch of time on this one, so I will be taking the help of this button called sync. Can we do the same effect here? Yes, you can add an action button here so that you can sync it in here also. Okay, you can see the campaign history have been added to this campaign. So now what is my first name? So Raju as lead is my first name. Can I see it here? I cannot see it. Let me reload the browser once. It should be, but I cannot be waiting for the entire 2 minutes for that to happen. So this is still Prasad as prospect. So I'll just hit this button explicitly to sync. Now the most recent updated value is coming from Salesforce. So you can see lead as Raju as lead. So with the setup again, I'll just go back to this one. These are all the basic things which you have to do it at the beginning of your account engagement settings. So I'll go back to my account engagement settings, object and field configuration, the prospect fields. I'm taking the default first name, which is synced with lead, and also it is synced with your contact. How it is synced? Because of the API name. Because of the API name. You can see this. If the values differ when data is synced, it's recently updated. You have to take care of all the important fields which you need, which value will be treated as the true or source of truth of value. Okay. With this, I'll give a pause. So what did we learn? We learned how to create a prospect manually. We learned how to import it and sync. Before we conclude, I would like to even check whether I received an email stating that enable this is fine. HTTPS enabled for this one. So I'm waiting for a message from Salesforce account engagement, which will be sending an email to me that the prospects are imported and completed. Let me check this. We can do it quickly. So segment prospects under segmentation list. Under segmentation list, I created one segmentation. All current list, I'll make it as all list and I'll search for the word July and I have one here. So you can see there are 223 exact number. So this is the number and you can see them, all of them are 0. Okay. Now the question is, this prospect will not be given to our sales team until they qualify. Now the condition is, what is the qualification? So we will be discussing about very interesting concept called scoring and grading in our lesson or session number 4. So this is all about your prospect, domain management. You can create custom fields and also you can link it with Salesforce. If you have any questions on this one, do let me know. I would like to hear it from you people. I'll give a pause once again for 1 minute so that you people have questions. So import can be done from other databases using integration. So integration, it is always done with the help of Salesforce CRM. You have to bring it into Salesforce. So when it comes to integration, import is the best way, which I would say, because we need to have a contact key or a lead ID for that. If not, you can also create APIs. You can make use of the Salesforce APIs to do it. But what is the use case you need to know about that is also important. I would like to know the use cases also to discuss on that. And a very highlighting part which I would like to highlight here, still my voice is clear and loud, I guess. Okay. So the volume of the email sent from account engagement compared to Salesforce Marketing Cloud, okay, is very less. Okay, compared to that. Okay, since it is majorly used for B2B marketing, and also it will be used to send emails to corporate email addresses majorly, because we are trying to sell software which is will be used by companies. For example, let's take an example of Zoom. Okay, Zoom is a video calling application, right? So when we are trying to sell that application to a company, so we would like to communicate with corporate email addresses as an example. Okay, this is majorly used for a B2B marketing. Okay, and we will be sending majorly the email in my use cases which I have implemented before. So I have implemented this for a investment company or an insurance company which sell insurances in bulk to companies and their employees. They sell the insurances to the company. They internally make sure that it has been circulated to their employees, because it will be a corporate email address. Makes sense here? So this is one implementation. Second implementation was for the Zoom. So where they are using, making sure that they are selling the products to the companies. If the company size is more than 100, they want to target them. They want to sell Zoom. I'm just giving an example on that one. So you can integrate it, but to what extent you are expecting. So integration by default, it will be there, which will be covered in our next lesson. When someone submits a form, immediately they are injected into account engagement. Okay, you can make that to happen. That would be a best idea, which I would say. If it is an initial implementation at the beginning of your implementation, if you have data stored in a third party database, bring them and import it as a prospect, so that they will be converted as a lead or a contact later in our lead nurturing process. Okay. uh, Debashish, hope I answered your question. Anyhow, 1 minute is also done. Anyone has any question related to prospect creation, which is manual import or sync? And I have explained you people about the default value to be mapped. Okay, could you please show how to add users to MCAE in a sandbox without a Pardot? Without a Pardot, we try to add users. Oh, you're talking about users? Okay, so after, if I'm not wrong, after September 20, so you want to just add in a sandbox without a Pardot. We tried to add users. Some users got synced, but some were not. Just a minute, could you please show me how to add users to MCAE? Okay, in a sandbox. Okay, I think I have a restriction of that account which I have using. Surely I'll keep this question for you, and I will be Just give me a second. Let me copy the chat message from you. This is from Amma. I think I have communicated with Amma before. Okay, this is the question from Amma. So I'll keep this question for you. Surely I'll be demonstrating in my next session on this one. Okay, how to add it with the users and they sync it. So it's a good question. So since we are still in the account engagement setting part itself, I will be happy to share my screen, and I will be happy to help you understand the user settings. Hope you can still see my screen. Okay, I'll click on account engagement settings. What should be done at the beginning? So first, when you are doing connector settings, okay, so let me edit it. edit the settings of the connector of salesforce.com. There is an option called user sync here. You can see this one, user sync. Okay, manage users in Salesforce. Get started with this one. Try to complete this part first. Okay, so click on this get started button. It will guide you through that. So anyone who is a system administrator will be treated as this one. You have update Pardot user role, a user in Salesforce, move Pardot user to recycle bin when they no longer have an assigned profile, skip a Salesforce user whose email address matches an existing Pardot only user. Okay, you have to make this changes first. So manage users in Salesforce. When you click on this one, it will be taking you to opt in. So once you opt in, you can not opt out this one. Okay, so what you should be doing, so there are some profiles in Salesforce, right? You need to map it. So let me select all these things. Okay, if a person is a content manager, let me take a marketing user will be treated as marketing user. Okay, I'm just waiting for this. You need to make this first change. Why it is not loading? Okay, let me go back just a minute. Let me help you to understand. You should create a user in Salesforce and it will automatically get synced. Okay, let me show you that user sync. It's a very good question. As an admin, I'll go back to my user sync. So marketing user will be a marketing role in account engagement. Are there any other roles? I think these are the only Salesforce profiles which I have. So I'll just make this save. Okay, this is saved. Now I'll click on get started. You should get this no user assigned in Salesforce. So once you assign this, probably you'll be getting this opt-in one. Opt-in for this one, and then they can, before opt-in to Salesforce user management, make sure that your Salesforce admin has configured user assignment in Salesforce setup and verify that your role mapping are correct on this page. This one, it should be correctly mapped. For example, so contract manager will be a sales one or sales manager. You have to map all these things. Identity user will be a salesperson. Marketing user will be marketing. Minimum access will be select. I'm just selecting it if you want to. And system administrator will be system admin. I'll just click on this side. Good. So this is the first thing which you need to do, and then you have to get started this opt-in. So you have to complete this part and then move on with this. Okay. Thank you. So I'll try to demonstrate that also. I'll check with the number of license what I have, and I'll be happy to demonstrate that, which will not take more than 5 minutes to see the information. When you create a user in Salesforce, you want it to be synced into account engagement. Hope I'm right in your question here, right? This is your question. I'll demonstrate on that one. It will not take more than 5 minutes to be demonstrated next week. Any other questions? So we have 10 minutes left. I would like to hear it from you people. If Chamal is allowing us to mute and unmute yourself. Okay. So I'll take your question in session number 2 and I'll be happy to. Thank you for your confirmation by giving the S message. Any questions? So I'll keep myself mute and I would like to hear from you people on tracker domain and prospect management. So we have couple of more sessions. Hope you people are learning, enjoying this. Please do the same exercises. Apart from the one which is domain management and tracker domain, you can complete all the other steps. That would be great and come back with your questions next week. Chamil, hope it's good for this session. Any questions from you? Uh,
No, Chandra. So I'm
uh,
good. If you don't have any other questions, I think we can wrap it up.
and it would be great even if they can send out their questions on the YouTube channel. So I would suggest you people to subscribe to the channel, which I'll be sharing. Channel also will be sharing. I'll be sharing in my WhatsApp and other LinkedIn profiles also. Do subscribe to the channel, and also we would be happy to answer your questions if we are getting any questions on YouTube channel also. I'll try to figure out those questions from the last week, and I'll try to answer those questions if there are any. I'll This link will be shared tomorrow if I'm not wrong. Thank you.
Yes, Chandra. So I'm sharing the channel here. So the first session is already added.
Thank you.
Now I think so. This session also will be adding today or tomorrow.
Awesome.
And again, thanks, Chandra, for continuing this section two. Um, I think we can wrap up the session and let's meet next week.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a great evening.